Welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of Valley Biz Buzz. I'm your host, Jen, and today we have Jay Barbush and Luis Ramirez, co-founders of Cast Iron LA, a digital, social, and creative agency based in LA. Welcome, Jay and Luis. We are so happy to have you here today on Valley Biz Buzz.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you. So the two of you have more recently partnered up, but have been in business together for 25 years. That is longer than most marriages. So we're looking forward to finding out about that relationship and how the two of you made the jump from big agency work to placing your talent on a platform which can serve all size businesses. And specifically offer smaller businesses the same opportunity larger businesses have when it comes to their creative strategy. So, of course, we're also excited to get some valuable marketing tips on marketing your business as well as starting a new business. As both of you know, the West Valley Warner Center Chamber of Commerce encourages its members to get to know a little bit about each other with the idea that not only do we use, but we recommend people that we know, like, and trust for the services we need. So my first question is, did you guys already know each other when you got into advertising? Or is that where you met?
That's where we met back in 1996, believe it or not, at an agency in Santa Monica called RPA. Jay was just a writer. I had just graduated from Art Center here in Pasadena, and we were just getting our career started. It was an amazing time. The internet was just kind of taking off, and we were young and ready to conquer the world.
Oh, that is so cool. I know that when visiting your website, it talks about how, and you both mentioned, how you went from, the biggest agency in LA to the smallest. So what makes Cast Iron LA different from the big agencies, although you worked in the big agency world for 25 years, so certainly you're able to offer your clients that big agency feel on a small, almost mom and pop type level.
Right. Jay and I actually used to carpool because we both lived in the Valley and we commuted to Santa Monica through Topanga Canyon. And we'd have amazing discussions kind of on the way to work, just kind of amping up because we were partners at the time. He was the writer, I'm the art director. And we talk about how to make things better, always make things better. At the end of the day, just kind of chugging away at putting out advertising campaigns and doing websites or everything else we were doing on the way back. It's like, oh, what went wrong today? And what would we do different? So we must have carpooled for a good 15 years, seriously. You got to imagine that's a lot of hours in the car together. And we had a lot of ideas, and we had there were a lot of problems, a lot of inefficiencies that we saw kind of ways to work it. And we basically have the big agency experience without all the baggage, so that's what makes us nimble, and we're able to react really quickly and do things ourselves. And that's one thing we really love doing, is kind of being very hands-on.
That is so cool. And that is an amazing drive, by the way.
It is.
It's stunningly beautiful. So I know that was a great part of probably, getting those creative juices flowing as well.
Yeah. At least once a week we'd see dolphins and we just kind of high five. Another
nice.
Yeah. Another thing we like to do on our commute was wave to people, just kind of foster a community. Just kind of in LA, people freak out sometimes when you wave to them. But in Topanga, it's a little different.
Just rando smile at people and see how they react. They're like, "What, is something wrong?"
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's there's so many really good people that I've met at the West Valley Warner Center Chamber of Commerce, and you two are certainly no exception to that rule. It's a great partnership when each of you, have your strengths and you're able, they're applied directly to the success of your business. Did you, we're talking about the drives and, how you carpool together, but did you both sort of have a light bulb moment together where you're like, let's start an agency? Or, and how did you get the name Cast Iron LA?
I'll talk a little bit about how we got that light bulb moment, Jay, and then you can talk about the name. How's that sound?
Perfect.
All right. So the light bulb moment, I was doing freelance kind of graphic design for out of my home. I had left the agency prior to Jay, and then Jay had left, and he had a lead on a client, and he, wanted to, like, hey, can you come help with this pitch, and then we could split it. We'll figure out what their needs are, and we'll kind of divvy it up. We'll figure out the best way to do it. In doing so, I noticed that like I could offer a lot more with somebody like Jay on my team, and Jay could offer a lot more than just kind of writing services with a art director on his team. And it's not just like 1 and 1 adds up to 2. Is 1 and 1 is like 5, because we really kind of assume a lot of roles. We cover each other's backs in so many different ways, and we really kind of we always gelled really good. So there's no kind of there's no attitude, no egos. Like, I'll write some copy sometimes. I'm okay with him changing it, or if he has suggestions on kind of how something looks, like, I take that to heart. I'm like, all right, let's change it. We're not, we love what we do, but it's not kind of it's not that precious that we can't change it. So we're always kind of trying to do what's best for our clients.
Yeah. Jen, let me ask you a question too, just kind of going back. Have you ever tried to take 12 people out to dinner somewhere? And what it's like if you have a big group, right? You got to get people to agree upon it. Everyone has
and when the comes to build that.
Yeah, people have opinions, but then you think about, all right, like, what if just 2 people go out, right? And I think that's kind of how we look at, a good way to look at the agency and how we're a small agency versus a big agency, right? We can right our ship whenever we need to. We can change and be, I think just in some of the work we did this week, we're consultants, we're like video production agency where I'm recording VO, Lou's doing like online edit and effects, so whatever a client needs at that given moment, we're able to sort of shift and do that. And part of that is like, what you kind of see in bigger agencies is everyone has their job, right? There's one person that does this job, one person that does this. I think Lou showed me that Charlie Chaplin video one time where it's just like you have one job, right? And here we have like multiple, if we don't know how to do it, we learn how to do it. And we kind of have this, we both have this sort of growth sort of mindset that like, if we don't know it, we're going to figure out how to do it, right? We're going to be able to deliver it for clients. Obviously in 25 years, there's a lot we've learned, but there's also a lot that's still to learn, right? Every day you learn something new. But I think that's so important. And, you said about like relationships, I think just from so long, I think in a creative relationship, like trust is so important, right? So you need to, there's so many layers. I mean, what we end up doing is, if we're going to present ideas, as a creative, you're presenting maybe sometimes 10 ideas, to get 3, and then from 3 to get 1. So, most of the work you do ends up just, in the trash can, right? So, you need to have that relationship with yourself and then with someone else that, this isn't personal, this is work. You sort of separate the art from the artist a little bit. And that sort of enables you to sort of, keep pushing things and, problem solve and figure out what those sort of creative and marketing solutions are for your clients.
So, and just to finish up,
I couldn't have said it better myself.
there's a lot of truth in what he just said, but I do want to kind of finish off because he didn't get back to why cast iron LA. Mm-hmm. And one thing that we both like to do is cook. And, we got fancy pans and this and that, but we always go back to the cast iron pan because it's so versatile. It's strong, it's durable, it's long lasting, and it's well seasoned, just like us. And that's kind of some of the properties that we like about the cast iron that fit us well.
Love. And Diana's husband is an incredible little cast iron chef himself. And let's do a cook-off.
Let's do it. Virtual cook-off.
Yeah, we'll lose barbecue junkie. So like he can
all go around and all taste.
Yeah. That sounds good.
What a cool name. I love that. That is awesome. Very cool.
And the other thing on that, just that always kind of that connected with me is, cast iron is made from, pig iron and other like discarded brake pads, old, architectural sort of, salvage. So it's something that's taken away from something else that's been discarded, and it's kind of put back together in a way that makes it stronger and more versatile than before. So we kind of like that, an analogy to, and, how that works as well. Like, we've come from different places and now we're coming together with something to make it even stronger.
Speaking of stronger than it was before, over the past year, I know you guys joined the chamber right before Safer at Home happened.
Yeah.
Congratulations. But it's been amazing because the chamber has been able to still offer all the same things they were doing, in person, only online. So actually you have less drive time and more time in the office, which I think is amazing. But there's been so much talk in the business community about transforming, business models during COVID. And you two took a really different, positive approach. It was so enjoyable reading the pieces from the journal on your website.
Mm-hmm.
And tell us in what ways you were able to help navigate your clients through the pandemic, since it was a recent partnership. You had just kind of upstarted. And did you find it necessary to transform your business model, still being kind of a seedling and being able to navigate new practices?
I mean, for us, I kind of think that our approach to everything is like, we want to be good guys, right? We want to be good partners. So what's happened as a result of that is a lot of our old clients, Honda was a big client that we worked on for, 20 some odd years, from everything from, digital campaigns to Super Bowl, so we have a good, breadth of work from them. But a lot of the, how the marketing industry works, people become a CMO here and then somewhere else. So we were lucky in the beginning because people that knew us and knew our work and were a little bit over the big agency and why it took so long and so many people in meetings, they came to us. And, we used digital tools. We used all these different sort of methods to make up for not having the people there. So we were well equipped to be, digital and to be remote from the beginning. So like when everyone else is having that learning curve, like how do we work together? Like we were already sort of comfortable with that. So that helped out a lot. Where we used to go, which was kind of funny, is we would go into the village, and there's a coffee bean in there. And, that was kind of like our home office, and we'd see other people that came in. And I think, the one thing that's, transforming is, that you kind of lose that camaraderie and just being able to just see the people. And, that's one of the things we do miss, and hope that, as we, get into better tiers here in LA, that will help. But, those people were almost like our office mates. We check in with them. I mean, somebody's insurance, somebody's this and that. But even the people behind the counter, we would just go there and, bring them donuts, you know what I mean? Treat them like they were,
cupcakes too.
Yeah, that they were part of, so that became our little community too. And, the West Valley Chamber, like when we sort of entered that was, again, that was such a, word of mouth is so important, and, networking. And we've always sort of been Valley residents for a long time. So I'm in Woodland Hills, Lou's in West Hills, and we used to, take that commute to Santa Monica. But, we really enjoyed, what it offers, and just the people, we're people persons, I guess. Right. So, like being able to sort of, and that's where we get our energy, because a lot of the stuff we do is listening. When we go to, someone who's that needs help in marketing, the first thing we do is just kind of listen to what they have to say and really take that in before we come up with any ideas or, anything like that. So that's always been, important for us on, how we, I guess, navigate our lives and how we sort of brought that, into our business lives.
So let me just sort of alley-oop off that and ask you, describe who benefits most from your expertise. Like, in the chamber, we always, we refer people, but the great thing is, and I already know so much more than I know from, sort of seeking you guys out online and finding out more, as much as I could about you. But, who do we send your way? Do we send everybody your way? Anybody who needs, these services, or is there a certain type of client since you're 25 years, 50 years expertise between the two of you, who's sort of best to send over to you?
Yeah, there's a lot of people, and everybody's different. So I think it all depends. Like, and we'll tell people like, we're probably not a good fit. That's not something we do. Like websites, we've done websites. It's not our strong suit. We understand them. Like we work with companies that have their own developers, and we're able to do the front end programming. But the back end program is like, we don't want to deal with that. That's not what we do. We love doing kind of email marketing. It's pretty interesting. We love doing ad campaigns too. So we do a lot of stuff, and it depends on what people want to do. I mean, we do consult on like website optimization and things like that, but it all depends on kind of what I guess the company's needs are.
Yeah, a lot of it comes down to like if we, everything starts with, objectives and strategy and kind of what they have, so if they kind of have an idea, our clients, range from, Fortune 500, company where, it's in Texas and Germany based, to, smaller, companies here, but we have, it was funny because we were cast iron in LA for a while and we're like, we don't even have an LA client. So it took a while for us to get one, but, another one of our clients here is Chatsworth based, which is called Herba Viva. And, we really like their mission that they sort of lined up with a lot of the things that we were sort of, and how we are sort of trying to craft who we are, and they are a skincare line, mostly for, expectant mothers. If, stretch marks, creams and oils, I actually use them, too.
Not the stretch mark cream.
Yeah, but they're great. I mean, and, so and they have a really good outlook on, what it means, or B Corp, and what it means to sort of be a company these days. And that's how we really connected with them. So, we have a good, sort of, I guess, diverse group of clients that we're working with. But as far as the needs and, again, going back to sort of what clients, what clients to send, one of our ideas and how we sort of, started the agency was like, we were going to be the two sort of principals. And as we do it, like we bring in people when we need them. So, in, having these 25 years, we have a lot of like really good people that we trust. So if we have someone that we need the strategy that's beyond what we can do, we bring them in, and they've worked on sort of huge campaigns, and they're kind of doing that same thing where they kind of got fed up with the big agency sort of world and, how that takes so long and everything. And they just like, I just want to start doing again. So, for Lou and I, like we were VPs, and in charge of, I had 25 people that, were just creatives that worked in a 750, person agency. And in doing that, a lot of times, like you really need to force yourself to do the work, because otherwise you're just, approving other people's work. Right. So that's why, always had sort of side gigs and doing other things, and writing for Adweek or, other things like opinion pieces, just because you need to keep that sort of, blade sharp, or, you're just gonna, and I know a lot of people too in the business that just, kind of sit at their desk and, wait for lunchtime and, go out and grab a cocktail and, just or on
two.
YouTube or whatever. And, like every once in a while sign in an expense report. And I never wanted to be that. I never got in this industry for that crap. Right. So,
yeah,
so I've always been happy and enjoyed what I wanted to do, but I also always wanted to be that maker that was out there. And Lou has that same mentality. So, I just don't want to be just, doing emails all day, right? Like I want to, the craft that brought you here is the one you need to continue to work on. And that's like the most important thing. And that realization is strong for us.
Yeah,
So,
it's really interesting because going to Art Center, like I didn't go to Art Center to become a manager. You know, I went to Art Center because I love to create. I love to kind of lay out things. I like the visual arts. And we'd always have this conversation like, nobody goes to Art Center to become, a middle manager. Nobody does that, but people do. They evolve into that, and you sacrifice a bit of yourself by doing that. And that's one thing that, like Jay says, keep your blade sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Where are my TBS reports, guys? So that's sort of a great segue into. We want to know, like, because you're so passionate about what you do, what are some fun projects that either you're working on, or like, do you have a project that you're so proud of that you want to tell us about, and please let us know where we can find it.
Jay, you want to talk about it? Because I know you're very close to the We Are LA.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, again, like some of the, we have client projects and then side gigs here and there, just that we do for fun. So we did at the beginning of the pandemic, we did, a love letter to LA. And, it was a video we created over the weekend because we're like, people need to be reminded of the city that we're trying to, take care of now. And it's still, but, it's still a part of who we are. So, we connected with, my neighbor is, a voiceover artist, Jamie Hill. She's great. She, recorded this, for us. I wrote the script. I had my son, Alec, who's a college student and, guitar player. He, I was like, hey, why don't you just like write us a little score? He did that. And then we talked to our friend about he's a journalist, used to work for the New York Times, a video journalist, and, does some really, really great sort of work. And he, gave us a bunch of drone footage. So we kind of put it together of these like empty streets in LA, and Lou edited it. And, we did it over a weekend, on a rainy Saturday in LA. So that was really cool to be able to do and just sort of put out there just for no reason, just to, put it out there and for other people to see and enjoy and connect with. And then most recently we have, we have a big campaign I'll let Lou talk about. But, the other thing that we're putting out now is April Fools. We have some April Fools, and I'm not going to kind of give it away. But, for a big client, we, that was always like writing, that style of writing is always like my sweet spot that I love to do. And, so, we started doing that for Honda years ago and pitched them on it. So, I think we've done about 6 or 7, for Honda, that have gotten good recognition, along the way. So that was really fun. And we were able to do that again for a client. Last year, we had a bunch, ready to do. And then the pandemic hit, and we said, it's not the right, atmosphere to just be putting this out. And like, we have that. Again, like a lot of agencies won't say, don't produce our work, right? And we went to our client, we have that level of trust, and we said, we don't think this is a really good idea. We're going to kill our own work, So, and I think they respected that and trusted that, from us. So,
yeah, the idea was good, but the timing was not. So
yeah,
it was a great idea.
That happens a lot, I mean, like it needs to sort of be right. But, and then we have a huge campaign coming up, right, Lou?
Oh yeah, well, that April Fool's thing is pretty near and dear to our heart because we've been working weekends to kind of get that together with sourced assets and kind of creating our own stuff. It's going to be pretty fun, but we're just finishing up. Last year we got a lead on a law firm in Las Vegas that needed a bunch of television spots done, and the way the timing worked out was, right at the peak of the shutdown, the second shutdown. And we scrambled to get that shot and been completely COVID compliant with it. And we hired a director, put on a big enough production to get it off. But I think, how many spots is there? There's
9.
There's 9 spots. They got 30s, 15s, and a bunch of 6s. which are great. We did a billboard campaign for them as well, some banner advertising. So we're pretty happy about that. Yeah. What's that?
We did a jingle.
Oh yeah, and a jingle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool to kind of get a big campaign out like that. The name of the client is Shook and Stone, so they'll be showing some new work soon.
Okay, and could you tell us how to find you all online? I know that there was a banner up that we can find you on social media outlets. The handle is Cast Iron LA? Cast Iron LA is the handle, and the URL is castiron.la, not com.la. Oh, thank you. As we're wrapping up, we're wrapping up what? Actually, I'm like, can we meet lunch?
Yeah, right.
I'm sure many other people as myself or who haven't met you are looking forward to meeting you. You know, it's so glaringly obvious you care about the work and you love the work and you want to give the best to your client and you care about community. You know, and these are the people that come to the West Valley Warner Center Chamber of Commerce. You know, it's about all these things. You know, and you know, really, we're like a family there. And
yes.
Is there anything else you would like to add before we close out?
Well, definitely we miss the chamber meetups. We miss them a lot. Like big hugs to everybody at the chamber that we've met, and you know, we still wanted to meet. There's so many great people there. And the breakfasts were great. The kind of little cocktail hours were fantastic. Just get in line first because before you start talking to folks, so you get the the good snacks. You want to get the good snacks. But I just want to say hi, and you know, we've helped a bunch of people, old clients, new clients, through this COVID transition. I remember we reached out to an architect down in San Diego who had to let a lot of people go, like, you know, let us help you. We're not going to charge you for this. Let us help you. It's a tough time for everybody. So we're coming out of this, hopefully we're coming out of this, and people are starting to grow. What's that? Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Let's do this. We can do this together, and it's time to kind of get their marketing you know, feet wet. If they haven't done a lot of marketing, if they just want to talk to us, we're more than happy to just chat somebody up too. Because we may not be right for everybody, but at least we could point them in the right direction.
I'm in marketing and I'm going to call you guys.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. I mean, and I think, you know, one of the things too is, you know, we're not so, you know, we love the work and we love the industry. And, you know, a lot of the time Lou used to, you know, teach at Otis. You know, I spend a lot of time sort of mentoring, you know, people who are trying to get into it. Like if people are interested and committed and call us up, I'll gladly give them an hour of time, you know, to talk to them. And, you know, we think that the next generation of marketers are really important. And when I started building, you know, the social media team, creative team, there was no one that could do the work. So I had to make them, right? So I had to just, you know, get these, you know, get people in and train them to what, you know, we needed to. So, you know, I always enjoy sort of working with them. And we're fair people, you know, we try to be good people. We got to live with ourselves. So, you know, we're not like slick marketers. Like when you meet us, I remember when we talked to the lawyer who was like, you know, he was like by the book and like really nervous, and he was trying to give us, and we're, you know, we told him how, you know, how much it would cost, but then we're like, there could be some other fees depending on travel, et cetera. And he's like, just give me a number. I don't want you to like, you know, I don't want to be charged for, you know, for a beer with you. And so I was like, well, first of all, we don't charge for beer. We drink them for free with you. That's fine, you know, but we're not those kind of people. And, you know, what we ended up doing is we completely over delivered. I think we, you know, promised, you know, 5 spots, and that, you know, and we over delivered, you know, and that's the thing, you know, we love doing what we do. If we get into something, we get really excited, and that really, you know, that gets both of us excited. And, you know, we just like, you know, stampede towards a goal, you know, and we go nights, weekends, whatever it takes, and figuring it out ourselves. So, you know, we love what we do. We love being a part of this community. Everyone we met has been like so helpful and wonderful. And, you know, we look forward to sort of LA coming back to being LA again, and everyone just sort of being back, is that's the key for everyone's mental health, their business, you know, getting these restaurants up and going again. That's just really important. We'd love to help with any of that.
Awesome. Both of you, your excitement is palpable. Looking forward to meeting you, and cannot thank you enough for today, your time, your expertise, and your love for community. So thank you so much on behalf of the West Valley Warner Center Chamber of Commerce and Valley Biz Buzz for joining us today. Thanks so much, guys. We hope you have an amazing day.
Thank you, Jen.
Well, thank you very much, Jen. Nice meeting you.